If there was one man in the world who had no idea what to do with his wealth, it was Pablo Escobar. Pablo Escobar was a Colombian drug king who received his wealth from the cocaine trade. Here are 10 things you didn't know about Pablo Escobar. At the tallness of his powers, Pablo's Medellín tranquilize cartel was viewed as in charge of 80% of the cocaine that was dispatched to the US and worth something in the locale of $25 billion. At the tallness of their forces, the cartel was sneaking around 15 tons of cocaine for each day. In 1989, Forbes recorded him as the 7th most extravagant man on the planet with an individual worth of over $3 billion. He had numerous monikers. One that he was generally known for was the King of Cocaine. Anyway, during his life he had numerous different names including Don Pablo, El Doctor, the Doctor, El Mágico, the Magician, El Padrino, the Godfather, El Patrón, the Boss, El Señor, the Lord, El Tsar de la Cocaína, the Tsar of Cocaine. He had so much money he used to spend $2,500 a month on rubber bands to hold his cash. As per Pablo's bookkeeper and sibling Robert, such was the measure of money held by the Medellín tranquilize cartel, that they were spending something in the district of $2,500 per month on elastic groups to wrap everything. Simply make some stick film, most likely. He's still regarded as something of a Robin Hood figure in his hometown. Brought into the world the child of a rancher in Colombia's second city Medellín, Pablo regularly discussed the neediness hole that was very obvious in Colombia. Pablo utilized a part of his riches on growing land in his old neighborhood, building barrios, parks, football arenas, emergency clinics and holy places in the territory. To a few, he was viewed as a common laborer's legend come great, sparing poor people while government authorities sat idle. He was responsible for over 4,000 deaths. Those that didn't take the silver alternative notwithstanding, were regularly slaughtered as Pablo made his wicked ascent to the highest point of the medication exchange. Altogether, the Medellín Medicaid cartel was said to be answerable for around 4,000 passings including rival tranquilize rulers, government authorities and regular folks. Make nothing of the fantasy, Pablo Escobar was an awful man. He had so much money he lost millions annually to rats nibbling this money. With most of the Medellín cash held away in different distribution centers, a great level of Pablo's not well persuaded gets snacking at his $100 greenbacks. Pablo Escobar discounted more money than a great many people win in the course of their lives. He buried his treasure like a pirate. Because of the measure of money that was coming in every day, around $60 million at the pinnacle of his profession, they needed to shroud the cash someplace. One thought was to utilize plastic oil drums with the goal that the cash could be covered. There were reports in 2012 that a Colombian rancher found more than 600 million buried in one of these drums. Anybody up for an excursion to Colombia with a metal identifier? He once burned $2 million to keep his daughter warm. Detecting a topic here? Pablo Escobar's life is once portrayed by incredible brutality subsidizing extraordinary riches. In 1991 Pablo was on the pursuit getting away from extravagance jail La Catedral. Remaining in a farmhouse in the slopes of Medellín, Pablo's little girl before long became sick with pneumonia, so as to keep her warm he utilized about $2 million as a rouse for fire. He even built his own prison. By 1991, Pablo had increased such a large number of adversaries and was under danger of being removed from Colombia to the United States. Making an arrangement with the Colombian government, the boss had a custom extravagance jail manufactured, La Catedral, which he consented to serve a limit of 5 years in as opposed to confront American equity. So Pablo assembled his own jail, and afterward filled it brimming with extravagances including a football pitch, a cascade and a telescope that permitted him to look straightforwardly into his little girl's home when he was on the telephone to her. Gracious, he left La Catedral following a year. By utilizing a secondary passage. He was a cutthroat negotiator. Pablo began his dealing character in 1975 and quick increased a notoriety for his simple arranging style. The individuals who might restrict him were regularly asked Plato o Plomo, silver or lead, offering the choice of payoff or confronting passing. Numerous administration authorities picked the silver choice.